Hello, how are you doing? It's Craig here at Fludded, and it's nice to see you nice. This is a review, as you've seen from the title of the video. It's a review of Frasier. I'm a big fan of Frasier. I liked it my entire life. As young people say on the internet, I've liked it my entire life. They're like 18 years old or something. All my life, I've liked it. It's like, you're 18. I've liked it all my life, and I'm like in my 20s now. So it's a long time, yeah. And it's a show that was just kind of perfect. Like Seinfeld, everybody loves Raymond, Frasier. It was the right cast and it was the right time, and it just all worked. It was really good writing, and you could just tell that sometimes just magic happens, and I think it is down to good casting, good scripting, and just everyone getting into it. And we've kind of done that for, I think, for 11 seasons we had of Frasier, and I've watched them all back to back many times, and I do watch them in sequence. Remember when I've driven across America, I had them on my iPad, but don't worry, I wasn't watching them while I was driving because I knew them so well. I could just listen to them and I knew what was happening, and they were still as enjoyable. That's how sort of obsessed I was. I also like watched Star Trek back to back and Everybody Loves Raymond back to back, and I went for a massive Columbo phase. So I'm a massive TV buff, and I often enjoy trying to work out, why do I like it? What about it makes it successful? Well, the main thing about Frasier is you might wonder, why are they making it? Why are we having this show? Why is it back? Is it pointless? Well, the answer is probably yes. It is a little bit pointless. It's not doing fantastically well on Rotten Tomatoes. I wonder if I can share that with you. Let me see if I can. This might not be centered. Let me just put it somewhere like this, and you should see it. There you go. There's it is on Rotten Tomatoes. The critics I've got it at 57%, and the passerby people, the amateurs, have it at 86. So that's not fantastic, is it? I think it's slightly less than that. And I think it's just like they're trying so hard to just continue on from where they were. They don't have the character of Niles because he just couldn't see the point of doing that character again. He's done it. I also get a sense from him that he kind of hates the fact that character haunts him everywhere he goes. Every time he does a new film, a new promotion, when you going to do a new Frasier? Is Frasier coming back? Now we remember you as Niles. He just couldn't get past that character, and I'm not surprised to see him not doing this show. I hope he's all right. Frasier, Kelsey Grammer doing it, of course. Then the money must have been right, and timing must have been right, or something. He's probably getting a lot of money for doing this. His production company's involved in making of it. Also, a company called Shiny Brass Productions, which is, I think, spearheaded by some guys called the Gibbon brothers. There's a lot of British attachment to this new season of Frasier, and it's going to be really interesting to see where that goes. I can almost guarantee Coogan's going to be on the show at some point. I wouldn't be surprised, at least. Why would he not want to be on the show? The Gibbons brothers wrote a lot of Alan Partridge stuff. What's the film? Something Alpha. My memory is going, guys. I can't remember the titles of rubbish films, but they wrote bits of that. And I'm not sure if they've been writing this this first episode. Let's have a look to see if if Internet Movie Database has the information that we want. You might be hearing my I've got a washing machine going in the background. I think we're going to have 11 episodes of this new show, and it was written by I think there's 3 women wrote this. Janine Lynn, Stephen Lloyd, Jenna Martin, Nyama Pierce. Famous not really for anything. I think there's an element of we need to get more women working in TV. So and we do. But whoever you get in TV, this should be really, really good. The writing's not bad. It's kind of like a typical farce Frasier's returned to Boston, where he's met his son, who's like a blue collar worker now, and doesn't really like that his dad's like a really wealthy celebrity, who wants the humble life, lives in an apartment with a woman who he's a firefighter, and he lives in an apartment with a woman who has a child. The father of the child was another firefighter friend of his, so he's kind of looking after his friend's wife and kid. Interesting dynamic going on there. You wonder if something's going to grow out of it. I think it is almost inevitable that it will. Frasier arrives back in this scene. The son kind of rejects him because where were you? Me growing up, all the usual stuff. And Frasier decides to buy the entire building that the lad lives in, and moves into the apartment across the hall. There's another character played by Nicholas Lyndhurst from Only Fools and Horses. And bless him, trying his best to, I mean, what a job to appear on Frasier, as a regular main character is a massive, massive deal. Lyndhurst hasn't really done too much, I don't think. I mean, he's done lots, but nothing massively successful. It's all been kind of like filler comedy sitcom stuff. In this, he's good. I mean, you can see he's good. Lyndhurst is always going to be good. He's a professor at Harvard. There's another character who's somebody who's quite senior at Harvard, a woman, and she meets Frasier and decides she wants to get Frasier working at Harvard, which of course is what's going to happen. Frasier will work at Harvard and becomes a professor there, and no doubt he will do all sorts of rusies to try and impress the kids. I think we'll see some cameos coming in. I think we'll see the character of Roz at some point, not for a permanent fixture. We will see, I think, probably, I wouldn't be surprised if Niles does pop in at some point, but I think we might see Lilith as well. I think she might rear her head. Is she the mother of Freddie? I think she is. So I don't think these people will return from a permanent basis. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. Will we see Ted Danson again? These are all people that wheel out just to boost the ratings a little bit. And the ratings will need boosting because it's not very good. It didn't grab me. I was kind of like so twee and, I just feel like it's done. And it's almost like a shame that they're bolting this on to the end. And I kind of understand why they do it. They've done Frasier, and this is just going to be a money spiller. It's going to make a lot of money for the families of the actors, for the rest of their lives as it's syndicated around the world. Kelsey Grammer's got a TV production company called Gramnet. They're involved. It's going to do very nicely, but that it does make me think that this has just been made to make money. And I think Kelsey's, he puts himself on the line to a certain extent. The performances are all right. It's not dipping into woke stuff yet, really. I don't think. It just seems normal. You don't need to go woke to have representation everywhere, of which this show has. And so I've got no grumbles in that department. But as you can tell, I'm a little bit underwhelmed by the whole thing. I should really be showing you bits of what I'm talking about, shouldn't I? Instead of just rabbiting on about it. So that's I can't remember his name. Is it Jack? Is this something called Jack? So it's oh, by the way, there was one thing that this did miss is it didn't have the backdrop of Seattle. They're now in Boston. So you had this set here, which is an airport, which they basically over-egged for a good, how many minutes of the show? It's still going. Is that Freddie? They're still talking. It's kind of weird because when you get your bags, you're out of the airport as quick as you can, aren't you? You're not hanging around chatting about old times. But they use this as a tool to get, there's a little callback there. That picture outside, it's rubbish. They use it to set up all the who's who and what's happened and why are you here now, and all the what's it called, exposition. That's it. So there's the son. who's not too chuffed with him, lives in a bit of a grotty, bland apartment. Frasier's not impressed. Son can't live up to him. Here's the woman who's we later find out there's a lot of farcical playishness. You feel like you're watching a play to a certain extent. They're trying to hide what their relationship is. Frasier immediately thinks that they're a couple, so he plays along. Do they reveal the child? There's no child yet. Meanwhile, over at the school, we meet this woman here. She is the boss. There's some friction between Nicholas Lyndhurst and her, although I think they're probably really good friends, really. Here's the cafe replacement. What's it called? Cafe Nervosa, what was it called? This is what the cafe looks like. This is going to be, I think this is, I don't know, a bar or something. Yeah, sorry, my washing machine's making a lot of noise in the background now, and you can hear the gate kicking in. Yeah, so it's drinking half pints of beer and sherry. It's good enough, you know, it's all right. See how it goes. You'd probably watch it on the airplane if you're flying somewhere. And it's all a bit silly. And it all ends, all the characters. I don't know. It's not my thing. It's on Paramount Plus if you want to go and watch it. I wouldn't give it any. I mean, I'm not even going to rate it because it's such a nothing. And I don't see any point. I don't see any point of it. I'm not going to watch any more of them. Yeah. What do you think of it? What do you think of what's happening in TV and film generally? I mean, everything's been made for streaming services now, so all the budget's put into the actors, and this whole thing of it seems to be things are being created out of committees, rebooting stuff. No, it's like they've run out of ideas. I mean, and everything has to be a massive blockbuster. They can't just tell a story and put it out in a cinema because they don't want to put it in a cinema. Why should they give money to the cinema? Everyone's got a TV at home and a streaming service, you know, that which they pay every month. No, people aren't paying. They're not going to get $9 out of you a month or whatever. You $13, $15 a month out of you by going to the cinema, and they're not releasing a film every month. So it's guaranteed income. It's definitely going to be a better money spinner for them. But the problem is they don't have enough material, so they have to regurgitate the material pretty quickly. So in order to do that, they have to have locations that are, film it in as few days as possible, which means fewer locations in controlled environments, so you can shoot quickly. So you'll see a lot of stuff which is all based around, 3 or 4 locations, maybe somewhere out in a desert. So these are controlled environments where you don't have many setups. All your budget will go on the actor. It will be a big name. That'll make it look like it's a proper movie, but I call them mini movies. This is what's happening. Streaming service is basically killing cinema. That's what I think. Well, I hope you enjoyed my overly lengthy comments about Frasier. I need to really hone this down because I'm not going to maintain your attention for 17 minutes. But maybe you enjoy listening to me ramble on while you make cups of tea or pot around cleaning the dishes, whatever it is you do in your homes. Anyway, that's what I think right now. So for me, till next time, it's a fair good evening to you all, and take care.